Alistair, thank you. Now to the story that's got a lot of us talking in the office today, the man's guide to, in his words, surviving marriage.
Yes, Anthony Blackie from Clitheroe has written a book so that more of his fellow men can match his achievements, reaching 50 years of wedded bliss.
Yeah, our reporter Tim Scott went to meet the author and his lovely wife Vicky to discover their secret.
There's my coffee, darling.
There.
Learn quickly which side of the sink is the wrong side to put your used coffee mug. Don't question her when she does crazy things.
Turn around, that's not that. No, you're not wearing that, that's for the bin. That's out. It's scruffy. It's going.
And let her throw out items of your clothing, no matter how precious they are to you. These pearls of wisdom are amongst many contained in a new book by Anthony Blackie, tastefully titled The Squashed Man Who Married a Dragon. It's billed as the ultimate guide for men on how to avoid marital misery. I caught up with the author and his wife Vicky at their home near Clitheroe.
It resonates with all married people. It's not a novel, it's a true life story. It resonates with everybody.
Vicky, how did it feel when you knew that Anthony was calling you a dragon in this book?
As Anthony explained to me, a dragon isn't always a bad thing, didn't you, to say that?
It's a compliment, really. It's a compliment.
Dragons, though, henpecked husbands, isn't this all a little bit sexist for 2015?
No, I don't even think about it, because I didn't write this as a book of hints and tips at all. This is what people have picked out of it and for some reason featured on. And ours is just a romp through married life.
A romp for Anthony and Vicky perhaps, but what about the rest of us? Who's really in charge?
Neither of us. It's kind of it always works out that it's compromise. So
I think things like that are all mutual, aren't they? No arguments, me.
I definitely have to agree. Yeah.
I like his attitude there.
Mostly, I just let him think he's in charge, mostly. Like, underneath it, I'm in charge.
Anthony's book may not be politically correct, but both he and Vicky are at pains to point out that no one should take it that seriously, and that after 50+ years of marriage, they still love each other very much. Tim Scott, ITV News, Clitheroe.
You think you're in charge in your gaff, don't you?
No. He's watching.
The man in this next film has taken the comic's favourite tradition of moaning about the other half and written a whole book for henpecked husbands.
And his wife is not happy.
Hi love, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Did you do the bins yesterday?
No.
Well, can you make sure it's done today? And then you do that, you need to take the clothes out of the washing machine and then start getting lunch sorted so that when I get back, I move it downstairs if you can. Thank you. Love you. Listen, hand on heart, I do not nag my husband. It's just that sometimes I need to repeat myself. And who's the boss in our relationship? Well, I am, of course. And he wouldn't have it any other way.
Now, I've been married 5 years, and my husband seems to be surviving very well. Or at least, I think he is.
Well, if he's struggling, he can always take some tips from this man, Anthony Blackie, who claims he's been in a long-suffering marriage to his wife, Vicky, for just over 50 years.
Now, at 75, he has produced a book giving men advice on how to deal with difficult wives. The book is called The Squashed Man Who Married a Dragon.
I was quite shocked by the title of the book, and you have to admit, Vicky, you must have been a little bit put out.
Well, I think I was at first, until I realised it wasn't the worst thing he'd ever called me.
Not only has he written a book, today he's appearing on national television to tell the whole world about his difficult marriage.
You may think she's a normal, beautiful, but she's not. This woman changes in a flash to something like a monster.
Now, Anthony, tell me about this book of yours.
It's the ups and downs, the knocks, the good times, the bad times of real life.
Not married life. It's more just our relationship and how he has survived it.
To me, Vicky is the epitome of a cherub, so I find it very hard to believe that you would be a nag.
It's not so much nag, it's destroy. She comes in with an exocet. Boom. when I was having a really hard nagging, I'd take the book and read it, and I felt better. And now don't ask me why, but it just worked.
Because you wrote it.
Ah, but I believe it'll work for everybody else too.
So give me some examples. How can a man deal with a nagging wife?
You've got to humour it, and you've got to sacrifice yourself. And don't set your happiness expectations too high all the time. So you've got to have your wars, your little fightings, and then you come back, maybe a moment or two reconciliation.
It's like steak every day, you get fed up with it.
And then you say, well, I really love you, really, I really do, honestly.
In all seriousness, Anthony, would you have survived a marriage this long if Vicky had been a walkover?
No, definitely not, but I wouldn't say in front of her.
After what you've put Vicky through, could you have embarrassed her slightly on national television? You should give her these.
I will.
And tell her how much she means to you.
And just pinch me, then I can cry properly.
Oh, thank you, Anthony.
See, they might bicker, but they really do love each other.
You.
Well, it's a good book. It's
It
a
is.
good book. I'm going to get it for your other half to be.
Well, you'll need it, because he would be way more henpecked than that man. Sure.
Right.